1. Weird name. I still wasn't concentrating. Outside, a sweeper truck whirred past the building. Scroll down. Thus_001. Anti-Smizer. This virus is an alteration of a virus which was designed to delete all files from one's C drive on December 13th. Application.options.virusprotection equals false. Shit. Garbled text, reams and reams of the stuff. Then something that stopped me dead. Annex E to O-Plan 31402, dated 23 December 99. Rules of Engagement for Land Operations. Introduction. The Rules of Engagement, ROE, contained in this compendium are for the use of the Kosovo Force, KFOR, land forces, when authorized in accordance with the procedure described in paragraph 3.A.2 of Annex E. KFOR, NATO's army in Kosovo. Scanning down now, faster, words jumping out. Deadly force, electronic jamming of enemy signals, military-restricted areas, war criminals. I was concentrating now, all right. These were military plans, commands issued to NATO troops currently on the ground in Kosovo and elsewhere in the former Yugoslavia. The 78-day bombardment aimed at making Serb forces withdraw might have been over, but the ground occupation, the firefights, the roundups, the armed peacekeeping, the hunt for war criminals, the shoot-to-kills, the time of sabotage and terror had barely begun. These documents seemed to cover all that. They contained endless sets of commands, going way beyond the public briefings NATO or the Pentagon had been issuing to the press detailing the terms and goals of the mission, beyond what President Bill Clinton, Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, or Prime Minister Tony Blair had been saying in front of the TV cameras. Even as President Clinton and his aides talked of zero-casualty operations, these plans detailed under what circumstances U.S. and Allied soldiers should shoot to kill. In some cases, they seemed to directly undermine the President's public statements. The commands came and came and came. Here were the circumstances in which deadly force could be used against unidentified attackers. Here were instructions to NATO troops on apprehending suspected war criminals for handover to the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia. Here were specific commands setting up the procedure for riot control to media transmissions, authorizations for attack helicopters, tanks, order on the laying of mines. My mind raced back through my time in Russia, my exposure to spies in Serbia, the country with whom we were at war. Whatever I'd done, whatever I'd said, had mixed me up in very bad trouble indeed. Maybe I had just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I couldn't help worrying I was not entirely blameless. I'd always been fascinated by Eastern Europe, wondering through my childhood, under the all-pervading paralytic shadow of nuclear annihilation, just how it could be that life was so black and white. I taught myself Russian after school, managed to get to Russia as a student, just in time to see it implode. I taught briefly, hitched around the Wild East, and watched in horror as communism's borderlands, first the Caucasus, then the Balkans, toppled into horrifying wars. Communism's promise of an allegiance greater than nationality or religion had stitched together post-war wounds that now erupted once more, each livid and bleeding organ of the former USSR now rejecting its force-grafted neighbors, old wounds erupting. Chechnya, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Moldova, Transnistria, North and South Ossetia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Abkhazia, Russia itself. In Yugoslavia, too, the promise had fallen away with the completeness of an illusion discovered. Like the USSR, it had contained multitudes, a Communist Party-ruled union running from Alpine Slovenia down through Catholic Adriatic Croatia, mountainous Muslim Bosnia, Orthodox Serbia, teeming and urbanizing, the capital Belgrade rising from its wartime devastation in concrete and steel. Its tiny coastal neighbor, Montenegro, the contested Greek, Bulgar, Yugoslav lands of Macedonia, the majority Albanian Kosovo. Now, the way those lands had blurred and bled into each other during the Cold War fostered in each a sense of septic betrayal. Communism had not addressed the betrayals, real or imagined.